promoting a healthy environment. It's the air we breathe. Clean, safe water. Responsible management of our natural resources. We protect and restore for a sustainable future. Environment matters.
They take pride in their community and they take pride in their school, and they can be proud of making our environment a better place to live.
Celebrating 10 years of community service, One Area High School group teaches the value of team building while working to clean up its community. Plus,
I think more frequently, kids are realizing that in the renewable resources, reusing what we have, being able to supply at a sustainable rate for what we're consuming, I think slowly but surely that message is sinking in.
And it's those lessons that are gaining attention on a much wider stage. We'll visit the Mountain State's newest National Green Ribbon School and see how lessons there in sustainability are teaching a new generation of West Virginians to make a difference. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Environment Matters. I'm Greg Adolphson.
And I'm Kelly Gillenwater. The phrase spring cleaning has a different meaning for students who are part of Wayne High School's Junior ROTC program. For the past 10 years, the group has made the DEP's annual Adopt a Highway statewide spring cleanup a regular part of its community service project schedule. Garbage bags and litter pickers in hand, students with Wayne High School's Junior ROTC program fan out along this busy 2-mile stretch of State Route 152 on the outskirts of town, and they don't have to look far to begin finding stuff to pick up.
A lot of Mountain Dew bottles and beer bottles. That's a lot of good things. And cigarette butts. A lot of those.
And it's really nasty, and people should pick up after themselves, I think. It makes our county look bad in the state of West Virginia.
Cody and Mackenzie are just two of the thousands of volunteers who take part in the annual cleanup. It's a joint project of the DEP and the State Division of Highways. Last year, more than 10,000 volunteers representing nearly 800 different organizations and community groups removed over 17,000 bags of trash from West Virginia roadways. It's a problem, but one that has a fairly easy solution.
Yeah, because there's trash cans everywhere. Why don't you just use those or keep them in your car?
Volunteer groups like the Wayne Junior ROTC form the backbone of the DEP's Make It Shine program, and according to advisor Johnny Abbott, it also provides the group with some valuable life lessons.
They learn teamwork, they learn team building exercises, and they take pride in their community and they take pride in their school, and they can be proud of making our environment a better place to live.
This is more than just a once-a-year event for this group. The Junior ROTC students organize cleanups like this 2 or 3 times each year, and their efforts are making a difference.
It's getting better. Like today, it's not hardly bad at all. It's getting a lot better. Throughout the year, people are taking the attention, and as you can see, the cars passing by, they honk at us, blow at us. They know we're out here, and they know what we're doing.
It's fun. I like to help out. I like the community service. I like to make a difference.
You can find out how your group or community organization can take part in a future cleanup by visiting our website, dep.wv.gov. The DEP provides groups with cleanup supplies like bags, gloves, litter pickers, and safety vests. The DEP also arranges for trash pickup and disposal. Groups are also encouraged to recycle what they pick up whenever possible. Besides all the regular trash and litter, the thing that keeps turning up at REAP cleanup events are illegally dumped consumer electronics, things like old TVs and computer monitors and printers.
The DEP holds collection events across the state to prevent illegal dumping, but it can't keep up with the demand. Starting July 1st, West Virginians can once again dispose of their covered electronic devices in their local landfill rather than dumping them illegally. Since the devices were banned from state landfills in 2011, the DEP has seen a spike in electronic devices in illegal trash dumps, sometimes as many as 150 a month in streams and roadside ditches. Earlier this year, the state legislature passed House Bill 4540, which once again allows the disposal of electronic devices in landfills. Landfills may have charges associated with electronic disposal, so it's a good idea to call ahead and check with your local landfill. One exception to the bill, if a county or regional solid waste authority determines that there is a cost-effective recycling alternative, landfills in that county are still banned from accepting these items. And so far, Berkeley County is the only county in the state that has notified the DEP that it will continue the ban on covered electronic devices in landfills.
A county-wide recycling program has been turning trash into cash for area schools for more than a decade.
The Raleigh County Solid Waste Authority recently celebrated 15 years of a successful school recycling program, a program that has exceeded organizers' wildest expectations.
In 2001, we had no idea. We were just taking baby steps, and now we're proud that the state uses our recycling program as a template for others in the state. To see the culmination of 15 years of school recycling, and we just surpassed that the schools have earned over $200,000 all total. And I think that that speaks volumes of the recycling coordinators and the community that's really embraced our recycling initiative here.
That's $200,000 for school programs and activities that might not otherwise have been funded. Over the years, the program has recycled more than 4,500 tons of materials that would have otherwise ended up in the landfill. Tops this year was Trap Hill Middle School, winning the Stanley Cup of Recycling for the 2015-2016 school year. Along with the trophy and bragging rights, the school also took home $2,000 grand prize, which was funded by the program's corporate sponsors. Shady Spring Elementary won the $1,000 prize for recycling the most aluminum cans.
Every year when we do this aluminum, we do a big aluminum can drive, and the teachers that in the 5th grade, we kind of like pump it up. And well, last year we got dunked in a dunking booth. This year we're getting slimed with green slime, so that kind of encourages them to bring more cans. We had kids bring in, like one kid brought in about 3,000 cans himself, and crushed and counted. But they all count them. We have to count every one of them, all the cans. So this year we had 27,000 that we counted from the kids. They love it.
But besides the money, the program helps teach environmental stewardship and sustainability. Lessons organizers say they hope last a lifetime.
I feel like we taught another generation, and as an educator, as an environmental educator, it warms my heart knowing that it's not going to get lost in the shuffle. And as they get older, they're going to remember what they learned when they were in the 5th grade. They are going to learn what they learned when they were in kindergarten. They'll remember the recycling center and watching everything going by the conveyor belt. So I think that what we're doing here is just, it's the gift that keeps on giving, is what I like to say about recycling.
The celebration is an annual event, a chance to recognize schools for all their good efforts throughout the year. But it's more than just a competition.
It's really good because you really like to reward the ones that volunteer, even when, it's recess, and even when, there's something fun going on, more fun than recycling. They get rewarded for, hanging in there and doing a great job all year long.
The DEP's annual Youth Environmental Day was held recently at North Bend State Park.
Roughly 1,100 participants from the DEP's Youth Environmental Program attend. It starts with a parade and ends with the presentation of more than $15,000 in cash awards and scholarships in recognition of outstanding environmental accomplishments by the youth groups enrolled in the program. Megan Parsons from Buffalo High School in Putnam County was the big winner, taking home the $2,500 a year 4-year scholarship. This is the 54th annual celebration of Youth Environmental Day. Every year, Berkeley County schools spend roughly $5.5 million on utilities and maintenance costs spread across the system's 35 schools.
But imagine, instead of paying gas and electric bills, that money could be used to pay for energy efficiency improvements that would dramatically reduce utility cost.
The DEP's Jake Glantz joins us now with that story.
Well, Kelly and Greg, with energy costs projected to rise over the coming years and heating and cooling systems reaching or nearing the ends of their operational lives, that $5.5 million annual price tag was expected to nearly double in 15 years. Something needed to be done, and school officials decided to look for an outside-of-the-box solution. Opequon Elementary School in Martinsburg is typical of many schools in Berkeley County. Built in the 1970s, its energy footprint is less than optimal, but big changes are in the works.
Because our school was one of the least efficient energy schools in the county, we will be getting a new geothermal heating and cooling system. It requires a lot of renovation. However, we have the old gas-fired rooftop units, and they're loud and they create a lot of smoke, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't work, and we sometimes have heat that's too hot, too cold. So this is very exciting for us too.
In all, 7 county schools will be receiving new geothermal systems. 5 others will receive upgraded boiler and chiller systems. In addition, the school system will be upgrading to LED light fixtures inside and out, about 28,000 lights altogether. Upgraded faucets and fixtures will reduce water waste, and every window and door will get improved sealing. It's all designed to save about $1.7 million a year.
We are going to do automated controls for the HVAC that can be scheduling. Everything can be controlled from one central area, which would be we look for that to be a big energy savings. And it gives the county a way to replace a lot of this outdated equipment that we have. We have a lot of equipment that's living on a prayer anyway. So this is just a great opportunity to be able to fund replacing a lot of this equipment, plus help the environment with using less energy.
It's all made possible by something called a Guaranteed Energy Savings Performance Contract, which will use the energy savings guaranteed by the contractor to finance the energy upgrades over time. Besides the improvements in energy efficiency, school administrators say it's a great opportunity to teach kids about science, technology, engineering, and math.
When we educate students, we always are concerned in educating them about our environment. It just gives us another opportunity. When we talk about geothermal heating and air conditioning, that's a new concept for them. I'm a pre-K to second grade school, so it's new for them. And they were very curious when they were like digging for the wells or where they're going to be. So we have taught them a little bit about that. But it's really a cool concept, and anything we can do to help the environment, protect the environment, is great, especially when it benefits a learning environment for students.
Work on the $28 million project is set to begin in June. For Environment Matters, I'm Jake Glantz.
Thanks, Jake. The project is expected to take about a year and a half to complete. 19 organizations from 14 West Virginia counties were recently honored at the DEP's annual Environmental Awards.
The program honors the initiatives of organizations and individuals for going above and beyond in categories ranging from clean energy and water conservation to land revitalization and sewage treatment. The ceremony was held at DEP headquarters in Charleston. Some of the honorees included the cities of Charleston and Fairmont for their municipal stormwater control efforts, Marshall University and the Guyandotte River Trail for environmental partnerships, and the City of St. Albans for environmental stewardship. DEP Cabinet Secretary Randy Huffman presented the awards and praised the winners for their efforts.
We will invest in those communities that have a desire to invest in themselves, where we see the most volunteerism and we see the most skin in the game. At the local level, that's where we will put most of our resources, or your resources, so they're taxpayer resources. And so that's always exciting, and it's exciting to see people come from such great distances to come here today and to be recognized.
The Buffalo Creek Watershed Association took home the Cabinet Secretary's Award for their efforts to convert 22 miles of the old Buffalo Creek and Gully Railroad right-of-way to a trail to open the area to foot and bicycle traffic. We'll be taking a closer look at some of these projects in upcoming episodes of Environment Matters.
Every year, the U.S. Department of Education awards its National Green Ribbon School status to schools, districts, and institutes of higher learning that are examples of environmental excellence.
The award recognizes schools that reduce environmental impact and cost, improve the health and wellness of students and staff, and provide environmental education and promote civic skills and green career pathways.
One West Virginia school made the cut this year. The DEP's Brianna Hickman joins us now with the latest.
Kelly and Greg, Berkeley Springs High School is West Virginia's newest U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon School. We recently paid them a visit to see what went into its winning entry. Tucked into the hills of Morgan County, Berkeley Springs High School provides its students with an up-close, hands-on watershed education.
We're in the Chesapeake watershed, and so anything we do here in this county actually does have an impact on the Chesapeake Bay. So if we can teach students to be mindful of their behaviors and, you know, the way that they dispose of certain things, the way that they might contribute to pollution, even if they don't know that they're contributing to pollution, if they're aware, then that will have a better impact in the entire watershed.
And that's just part of the benefit. Besides having an active farm-to-school program, Berkeley Springs has its own greenhouse that uses solar power to run fans and pumps and solar hot water for root bed heating. Students spend the fall semester learning greenhouse operation, and in spring, they grow bedding plants for sale to the community, a project that helps fund the program. Some of the produce grown also goes to the cafeteria. Instructors say that teaches a valuable lesson.
I think it's important that the kids realize where their food comes from and how important it is to see, you know, that it's a cycle. If they don't, they just get the idea that, hey, I can go to the grocery store, pick up whatever all the time. But the longer they actually realize and see that, the more they realize where food comes from. I think it's becoming more and more important all the time that we get the point of sustainability, especially with a growing society and population, and still being able to produce enough food for a growing world populace, especially here in West Virginia and the United States as well.
And I think that this is just one of those processes that shows what our county and our high school is doing in terms of curriculum and facilities, conserving energy, using alternative fuels in our buses, just a lot of different things that we're doing here at the high school and county-wide. Hopefully it sends a message that even you can make small steps towards sustainability, you know, on a small level, and that you know, really does contribute to overall sustainability.
Berkeley Springs was one of 73 schools or school districts honored by the U.S. Department of Education this year. For Environment Matters, I'm Brianna Hickman.
Thanks, Brianna. Berkeley Springs joins previous West Virginia winners, North Elementary School and Eastwood Elementary School in Morgantown, Cameron Middle and High School in Marshall County, Hometown Elementary School in Putnam County, Petersburg Elementary School in Grant County, Hilltop Elementary School in Wheeling, and the Wyoming County Career and Technical Center in Pineville. Imagine being able to walk down your street and pick a ripe apple or peach right off of a tree in your very own neighborhood.
That's the idea behind the Urban Orchard Project, taking vacant lots in neighborhoods and turning them into pocket-sized green spaces. The DEP's Mike Huff has more on an idea that's gaining popularity across the state.
When the ground is tough and your help a little on the small size, sometimes you need to break out the power tools. They're preparing the ground for tree planting at Huntington's newest municipal green space.
We're at the site of where Miller's Elementary School used to be, and basically when that school was demolished, this land was purchased and it was turned over to the Park District to maintain as a green space, meaning we can't build anything on it. Last year we built some raised beds and we planted some veggies in the raised beds.
This year they plan to add some additional variety to the produce section. 15 apple and 15 peach trees will soon occupy this space.
This is something that they're already doing in Charleston. West Virginia State University has worked with different groups in Charleston and planted a couple urban orchards there, and they are working towards planting another urban orchard in Huntington on a HURA lot, which is the Huntington Herbal Renewal Authority. So basically it not only beautifies the space, but it provides something for the community, so it benefits the park and the community. Is it deep enough?
No,
Where's our cut?
No, it's right here.
Where is our cut?
Our cut's right here. Hold on, make sure it's straight.
Okay.
And put it in.
Yeah, we need more dirt.
Fabulous.
More dirt and pack it in tight,
More
okay?
dirt. More dirt. You said dirt.
As much as you can get.
The idea behind an urban orchard is a lot like urban forestry, where we're concerned about adding trees into our urban landscape. But then we've sort of taken that a step further by adding in the urban orchard idea. So now, community members can come and they can actually harvest fruit when there's fruit on these trees. They can sort of take that ownership as well. And then being a little bit greedy on the side of extension, this is a great place now to come and do hands-on education.
This morning, that hands-on education involves a group of students from Southside Elementary School.
We're planting a tree.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's not very hard. It's really fast if you do it. Well, it's not super fast, but I like it. Yeah, me too. That David's gonna break one of these.
What kind of tree is it?
Probably it's either a peach or an apple. It's an apple. Well, it's an apple. Yeah. First, we put the tree in, and we get it adjusted straight, and then we cover it up with dirt and pat the dirt down.
You like coming out and doing this?
Yes.
What's cool about it?
It's that trees are being planted and it's good for the environment.
What's it been like with all your little helpers today?
It's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind, but as soon as I sort of demonstrated the first tree, they took off and they've done a fantastic job. They've actually planted trees a lot better than I've seen a lot of adults try to do. So they're doing a great job, and I think that says a lot about our future.
In Huntington, I'm Mike Huff for Environment Matters.
Miller Park is Huntington's first urban orchard, with another project planned in the near future. Charleston already has 2 similar urban orchards.
It began with a trickle of oil in a place where it shouldn't have been.
Now, a one-of-a-kind environmental remediation project is wrapping up in Wheeling. There's not a lot of elbow room inside the first floor apartment on Jones Street in Wheeling. What with a miniature drill rig and over 1,000 feet of drill pipe occupying what used to be the living room. Everything about this job is downsized, except for the effort it takes to take care of this leaking abandoned oil well.
So how heavy is that pipe wrench get at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, that pipe wrench is very heavy. It's we've been using a 48 and a 36, and they get very. After you use them for about 10 hours, they get very heavy. You're using them constantly because, like I say, we're working with 5-foot sections, and they go by pretty quick.
The sections had to be specially manufactured for the job. Because of the lack of headroom, the normal 31-foot sections couldn't be used. That meant more connections, lots more connections.
Yeah, but it's every 5 feet instead of every. We had 6 joints to every joint we normally have.
And at a total depth of nearly 1,100 feet, that's a lot of wrenching. And besides that, they were working basically blind.
It's pretty normal as far as the well bore goes for being an old well. We just had no information on it. We had no idea what depth we're going to run into plugs, possible plugs, and just the manner that it had been plugged.
That's because this well was originally drilled between 1908 and 1910, a time before record keeping was required. That makes these old, sometimes hidden wells a potentially significant problem.
Oh my goodness. There's a bunch of them, thousands of them I would say, throughout the state that's hidden that we don't even know about. Because around the late 1890s, we was the largest producer in the world of oil, and we didn't started keeping records till 1929.
The well was plugged in April of 1949 to the standards in place at the time, but times have changed.
They used to use wooden plugs, sand, clay, with maybe a couple sacks of cement on top of them. Whereas today we use minimally 100-foot cement plugs, and we try to seal off the wellbore where there's no mitigation at all coming through them. And before, they just didn't get them sealed off. And the old wooden plugs would deteriorate over time and cause problems.
The Jones Street well was eventually sealed with 6 separate concrete plugs separated by gel spacers. Crews say if they ever encounter another leaky well inside of a building, they have a plan they know will work to fix it. The DEP's abandoned well program typically takes care of 12 to 15 leaking abandoned wells a year. The Jones Street project was a joint project with the US EPA, and because the leaking oil eventually ended up in the Ohio River, the US Coast Guard. It took crews about 6 weeks of drilling to reach the bottom of the Jones Street well. We leave you now among the clouds along High Top Ridge near Wardensville in Hardee County.
On behalf of all of us at the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
More than 800 people with one mission, promoting a healthy environment. We are the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection.